where some of the patients are supposed to be. It's really sad that we have such occurring every year, you know.
Yeah. We touched on this yesterday on the Daily News Review because I was like, what is going on? The governor of Lagos State had gone to some areas on the island and said, oh, that's come up, you know, one thing. And I was just like, no. And he's telling people that, look, those of you that live in the lowlands should move. And I was like, no, that's not the solution, because you can't ask people to leave their homes to go somewhere else when you all had enough time to be able to rectify or to prevent what is happening. Even besides the flood, there's so much potholes on the road. I was driving somewhere yesterday, and places that you think, like, you sort of know where potholes are, and then you're cruising, and then boom, a pothole. So I had to just slow down, because I said to myself, this is not sustainable. The roads are worse and worse and worse. Unfortunately, they won't be able to do anything because it's raining. But at the same time, are we not going to suffer because you cannot do anything because it is raining? I mean, it's a conundrum, but somebody has got to be dragged by the ears for this. Anyway, let's get into it. Nima, hi, how are you again? I can see you and I think I can hear you. How are you this morning?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. How are you?
Fine. You sound a bit better. That's good. Yeah. Okay, let's get into it. Starting off the Punch newspaper. We are live on YouTube at WFM 917, and you can listen to us on the go via our website, www.wfm917.com. The phone lines will be open shortly, but in the meantime, you can send your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, and your voice notes to 0703 1756 537 or 08155 917 917. Let's hear your thoughts. Let's hear what you have to say about the headlines or what's bothering you with regards to Nigeria. We did for you. Starting off with the Punch newspaper. Yesterday, I was saying to Sumbo that as much as I don't want to talk about this phantom agency anymore, every day something new is coming that forces me to say something about it. For instance, now, fake agency scandal still, Gbajabiamila sues Adeyemi for 15 billion naira. Yes, what was yesterday's one? It was that the Senate was rejecting the probe, that the Senate was rejecting the probe because one of the senators had said, while the presidency is conducting its own investigation and the courts are doing theirs, that the Senate needs to do this. And Akpabio came out to say, we cannot interfere one thing. And someone was like, no, there's nothing stopping them from running it independently or concurrently. But she was like, since it's Akpabio, nothing for everybody. And that was that yesterday. Today, we wake up to see that Agbajabiamila, who's also been in the center of this whole fake agency, should I call it scandal, brouhaha, I don't even know the word for it, he has now come out to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to sue you, bearing in mind that the person that you want to sue is he's already been detained. He's currently in the former SARS headquarters. So that's where he's been detained at. So who are you? Like, how do you want him to pay you this money in Kini? What are you even detaining him for? Because we haven't even seen any proof to say that you were not in the know of anything. Adeyemi has come out to say, oh, like, I didn't meet Femi Gbajabiamila one-on-one, but your name is in the center. So you suing him is like, are you trying to prove that you're not guilty? But instead, isn't it looking like you've got something to hide because you are... Anyway. Asha Mamawu, nurse's death. Umahi police fight bids to stop autopsy. And we're going to get into this with our analyst this morning. We have enough time, because the more I read this thing, in Nigeria, when these kind of things occur, the more you look, the less you see. That is what is going on with this particular headline. So I'm just going to jump over it so that we can have enough time to talk about it with our analysts. Nima, over to you.
Moving on to the Guardian newspaper. Mixed reactions trail appeal courts. In the timetable.
Nima, shall I do it for you? Okay, I'll continue. Sorry, I told you to go arrest. You say no, because the cold is what is affecting your voice. I can tell. Number two, rest as well, right? So the only way your voice can come back is if you rest adequately. I mean, I'm giving you blank check. Niba said she doesn't want my blank check, so okay, I'll come to collect. Okay, the Guardian newspaper. Mixed reactions trail appeal court ruling restoring INEC timetable. Voter apathy makes electoral manipulation, rigging easier. I think we might get into this. No, we're not getting into this. This was an article, I think, in the Premium Times, and I think it's a senator that said this. If no, a former something something. The title has Sapamilori like this now, and he was saying that the only way we can get the results that we want come 2027 is if we all get involved with voting. And there's been voter apathy for a very long time. It's not new. Even in the last elections, a lot of people didn't come out to vote because they're just like, I beg, I beg, I beg. It's not like if I vote, my vote will count. But I was like you before. I've been convinced that our vote will count. So let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's not get discouraged. Let's not get discouraged. How they say it is that when we don't, if we don't go out to vote, it's easier to rig because something, the numbers. I'm still trying to understand the science and the math of it, but quite a few people have said it, and so I'm inclined to want to stand with them. So let's get our PVCs. Let's go out all en masse next year, January, so that we can vote for who we want to be in power. I mean, if you want the sitting administration to still be in power, that's your prerogative. If you want somebody else, that's also your prerogative. What we're not going to do here is tell you who to vote for. You already know, Abby. Okay, good. Next up is the This Day newspaper. Court orders for final forfeiture of 4.6 billion jewelry, 4.6 billion naira jewelry, 4.2 billion naira cars, cash linked to businesswoman Aisha Achimogo. Yesterday, I think someone was saying something along the lines of this. And when I read this article, I think it's one of the headlines for this morning. So maybe I shouldn't get ahead of myself. This is, according to the newspaper, this is one of the highest single, is it forfeiture or things that have been taken away from a, we'll get into it, the analyst this morning. Umahi names coastal road after Tinubu. Federal government okays 400-kilometer extension of key highway. Umahi is the Minister of Works, and he's also the minister whose name is involved in that nurse's death in Ebonyi State. So yeah, he's now naming the coastal road after Tinubu. Why can't it just be called the coastal road? What's the point? We can like to be extra. I think most of the ministers or governors or senators are doing it because they want to curry favor from the presidency, because they believe that the presidency will come back into power come 2027. But I'm kidding you, what necessary at all. Moving on to the Daily Trust, we have Phantom Agency DG held at former SARS headquarters. I mentioned this earlier. Food prices remain high despite the drop in inflation. I remember when Nima first joined, Nima said she was going to give them, I think, 3 working days for things to rectify itself. Nima, it's been, I think, a month.
There's nothing I can do about this now. I thought they would listen to me.
You thought they would listen to you, but Nima,
listen to me.
They didn't listen to you. So sorry, Nima. So sorry. But food prices are still high. Okay, you people should listen to Nima, government, so that I won't be teasing her again. Because I will continue to tease her, because I was like, Nima. She goes, no, let's give him 3 working days. It'll be fine. Okay. Plus fuel price, plus everything. Vanguard newspaper, we have breaking: 4 kidnapped during NECO exams rescued. That's the state government. Yesterday, we all awoke to see that they had been kidnapped yesterday. Some students, a NECO official, and they've been rescued. We thank God. Alone. Again, armed herders invade Benue community, shoot residents, loot shops. Benue, I think this is one of the states. Benue is one of the states that has gone through the worst of the worst when it comes to insecurity in Nigeria. Benue, Kwara, Niger. I think we left Nigeria alone for a bit now, but Benue and Kwara have gotten.
You calling their attention back to Nigeria?
No, no. Please, Nima, no.
You said they've left them for a bit now.
Please, Nima, no. Okay, let's move to the Premium Times newspaper. Nigerians want cheaper petrol, but renewed Hormuz battle won't make that happen. Last week, I saw that President Donald Trump, the American president, had said, you know what, they had signed a memorandum, an MOU in June, which now everybody was like, okay, we're good, there's now peace, we can all go back to factory setting. Now Donald Trump said, we're going to fight this fight still. And I was just like, why? Like this, while trying to, we were even still begging them in Nigeria to reduce our fuel price, right? And then now the almost skinny. Now, what is interesting is that Donald Trump just said this thing. The prices of fuel globally haven't gone up. Guess who has increased fuel prices? Nima's people.
How now?
They're your people. Because you're the one that is giving them 3 working days. Your people have increased fuel price again. I'm just telling you so that you are aware. That is it. Because when we say when they stop the fight now and we say they should reduce it, Nima's people will say, oh no. Nima, you have something to say about your people.
The matter don't tire me. Because see for me throwing digs at me this morning.
Yeah. Anyway, between you and your people will be all right. Moving. Still on the period times, we have Senate rejects motion to review contract award process in the National Assembly. Moving on to the Nation newspaper, we have 6 months to presidential poll. INEC raises preparation tempo. 6 months, oh my. Court postpones final arguments in 11-year-old fraud trial of ex-governor Suswam till September. Then moving on to the cable newspaper, NBA insists national elections will hold on Saturday despite service provider row. Court bars FRC from operating on state and local government roads. Those are the headlines. Oh, no. We've got 2 more. Beg your pardon. 3 more, actually. In the Daily Post, we have Dangote, Nigerian filling stations increase fuel price. We talked about this. Let me not drag Nima again this morning with her people. ADC chieftain slams Soludo for hyping Tinubu's proposed road projects in the southeast. Moving on to the Tribune newspaper, INEC mulls mock presidential election ahead of 2027 polls. 210 trillion naira probe all this morning. Senate gives NNPC auditors 1 week to explain financial records. In the pen pushing newspaper finally today, Olabisi Onabanjo University, 5,000 candidates just so for 50 nursing science slots, accommodate 120 out of 4,000 applicants for mass communications. Actually, I want to dwell on this one for 2 seconds. And I'm going to ask our analyst. I don't know if it's not yet time, but I'm going to. Let's talk about this one. 5,000 candidates just so for 50 nursing science slots. Accommodate 120 out of 4,000 applicants for mass communications. I'm trying to quickly open that headline because I'm like, when I saw it this morning, I was like, because I had so many questions. I was like, first of all, why are you should be able to know what you can accommodate, right? So why are you, is it the fault of the university? Is it the fault of JAM? Who is it? Is it the fault of the Ministry of Education? Whose fault is this? Because 5,000 candidates applied to study nursing science, and I know I'm saying it again, I'm saying it intentionally, at Olabisi Onabanjo University for the 2026-2027 academic session, which starts in September, October, depending on when the school resumes. But his institution only has 50 admission slots for the program. How is it that should universities come out to say, oh, by the way, for mass communication, we only have 100 slots? But then what does that mean for students who want to study mass communication? Now, you can say there are many universities to go, but with the rate of insecurity that's happening in Nigeria, I'm supposing that some parents will be like, oh, law anywhere, Oma, apply, law see OOU for university. Same with Bascom, 4,000 candidates applied. The university can only accept 120 students. And the vice chancellor was like, look, the growing demand is what made them introduce nursing science, mass communication, computer science, and other courses into its open and distance learning program, which means that you actually you don't need to come to the university. You can study from home, long distance learning, right? But this is like the only app. This is I don't know. I'm Monkalolo. I don't know. What say you?
Well, the blame goes to both the university and even the body in charge of admission.
Right.
Yeah, I would have expected that there should have been a meeting point, even with people taking jam and all that. You find out that some who can't even get in after going through, maybe there's a first batch, second batch, supplementary list, and all that. You still find out that some have to go through other routes, maybe what is it called now, prelim or something, before getting into the university, or some will even go to the university, do another separate exam, which looks more like screening to get more, students into that university. So the blame is actually on both sides, because you would have expected that there should be a form of communication to say, during the admission, these are the numbers that we can accommodate. So why allow 5,000 to apply for a slot for 50 people only? I think there's something wrong somewhere. And this has been happening over the years, So that's why you have some people, they go through the right door, some through the window, some through other means to get admission. And then probably when they get to maybe close to the final year or third year, you now start hearing, oh, this person didn't actually get admission into the university. So what happened? Is it that we had fake document given to them or what? And this country has gone to a level, especially the education sector, where you wake up, somebody is giving you a different rule concerning getting admission. Another university is coming up with something that does not, or probably something that has not been on record on how to get into admission into the school. So there's a lot of criteria. Now schools don't just depend on JAM criteria. Gone are the days where you say, if you have so credits in this, so credits in that, you get admission with the cutoff mark, of course. But at the end of the day, you still get to that university, and then they tell you, oh, you have to go through this screening, you have to still do this if you don't have this, all because they have little slot to give out through JAM. The other ones, they want to exploit it to their own purpose. So they have their own candidates, they have their own means of getting, more students into the university that are not even part of probably the slots that JAM is giving. Because right at filling the form for JAM, you already know, because JAM has a database of how many students are applying to different universities. They know the cutoff mark. So they know if your cutoff mark is not up to the university you're applying for. But when it comes to the schools, they try to do, I don't want to say it's mago, because I just feel like there's a lot of corruption, even in our education system now. And it's really terrible. And that's why at times, even students who get the cutoff mark don't have the opportunity to get into those universities. They have to start looking for other, catchment areas now where they can get into, So I just feel that there should be like, oh, this is the criteria, whether from JAM or for the university, there's a meeting point. If we are allowing 100 students, if we have 200 students take the exam, at the end of the day, it's on record. JAM has the record of how many students qualified for that first 100, because they usually have a cutoff mark. Then when it gets to the school already agreed with JAM that, oh, we are taking 100, nothing more than that. If they now want to do that on their own, it shouldn't affect the students that are coming in, that have already filled the exam form, that have already done the exam and qualified to be in that institution. So there's I won't say it's a break of communication. I think it's just intentional, because either side is selfish. They just want to take laws into their hands to get their own preferred candidate, while ignoring whatever it is that JAM, has given to them to follow. So there's definitely selfishness, somewhere, and then both parties are not aligning together. Because I remember then when we did JAM, when you do your JAM and you meet up with the cutoff mark, it's not that easy. It's not like, oh, I need so person to get me in, I need to know so person. You go in with your results because you have met up all the criteria and the cutoff mark. You go in, you don't have to bribe anybody, you don't have to go through unnecessary exam again, unnecessary screening in this university you are already qualified to get into. you know. So I feel that it's something that has been happening over the years, but until we have someone with the right frame of mind to correct all these things, because this is also corruption. You feel that, oh, I've not been given the opportunity, you now want to go through the back door because you know somebody, you know somewhere, you know, and you can afford to, you know, get your way in. So there's a lot of rot right now with these issues.
Yeah, actually, I agree with you. I really like how you said JAM is supposed to find out, okay, how many spaces do you have here? How many spaces do you have here? That way you can know what you're catering for. But at the same time, we also know that we have I think at the bottom of this is that we don't have a data library. We don't have great data. What is the Oyinbo of it? Data is not our finest point, basically what I'm trying to say. We don't have data. So it's impossible to be able to say, oh, in University of Ilorin, we have 5,000 students that actually apply to the University of Ilorin, because how do they count, right? And like you rightly said, JAM should be able to do that work, because anybody who wants to go to university has to do JAM, whether private or federal or state or polytechnic, you have to do JAM. And so really, I think that the bulk of the it should be with JAM, but then JAM is busy jamming people up and down. So yeah. Lastly, we have constable recruitment. Police Service Commission releases names of 50,000 successful candidates. Those are the headlines this morning. We're just going to go right into it. The time is 5 minutes to 8. This is Women Radio, and this is the Daily News Review on Women Radio 91.7 this morning with our analyst, Adeton Adebogun, myself, Fumi Bagbala, and Nima Tala Hassan is also here. If you're not hearing Nima's voice so much this morning, it's because she's struggling with a bit of a cold, and it's affecting her voice. So we're trying to like give her a bit of time. But Nima, if you want to say something, please feel free to interject me at any point in time. We've begged her to go and rest. She say no, that she's best in walking. Hold on. Okay, let's start with this first one. This nurse's death in the Punch newspaper. Nurse's death, Umahi, police fight bid to stop autopsy. So, background story, this nurse she's a 26-year-old nurse who is I think she's a physiotherapist who works with the Ebonyi State, the Minister of Works. She's in his entourage, basically. And then she was reportedly found dead at the minister's residence. Now, the minister was also around because they all he shuttles between Ebonyi and Abuja. And so she was found dead, naked, with blood coming out of her nose and I think her mouth. So they said they're going to do autopsy, which is great. That's the Minister of Works himself, David Umahi, and the Ebonyi State Police Commander said, we want to do an autopsy to unravel the circumstances surrounding the death of this young lady. But their demand, the lady's father said, no, I'm not interested in, the family is not interested in doing an autopsy. He said because he doesn't want them to tamper with her body. He wants her body parts to be intact. And in my mind, I'm thinking, if they told you your child died under mysterious or strange circumstances, and they're saying, let's do an autopsy, and then you as the father, you're saying, oh no, we don't suspect foul play inside our death. What is there hanky-panky going on? I'm again, like I said at the beginning, the more you look, the less you see, because an autopsy tells us what caused the death of this young lady. An autopsy tells us the circumstances around it. It tells us, okay, who was involved. Fingerprints will be found, they'll be checked, people will be arrested, the family can get justice eventually. So the family insisting that they don't suspect foul play, for me, is suspicious. Because what do you mean you don't suspect foul play? And ratio, because what do you mean? And there's been quite a few, not conflicting, reactions from Nigerians as well, saying, no. I think Atiku has also spoken about it. NANS, that's the Nigerian Association of Nigerian, the National Association of Nigerian Students, have also gotten involved and said, no, we want to get to the bottom of this, because she was also, a member of Federal Medical University as well. She was a nurse, she was a physiotherapist. This morning, I saw some videos of the minister saying that, oh, she was on the phone with her boyfriend. I was like, how do you know that she had a boyfriend? How do you know the conversation that she had with the boyfriend? what's going on? Right? That she said she spoke to her boyfriend at the hour of her death and complained that she was bleeding from the nose. The boyfriend now said, oh, you have to report it. The boyfriend now said, you know what, I will not continue this conversation since you are bleeding. It will increase the bleeding. She now told the boyfriend, don't cut the call. 3 minutes later again, the boyfriend called. Then she was not responding. Hello. No.
Well, let me start by saying that the case is no longer in the hands of the family. If they know what surrounds, issues like this, it's actually out of their hands. So the bargaining of whether to do autopsy or not is even out of the question. It's not something that they can, begin to appeal for. This has gone out of their hands. This is more like a public case. A government is involved. A government official is involved. And aside that, we are talking about a life here. Someone that died on, in a kind of circumstance that we cannot yet ascertain. I read the report and I saw where the minister was emphasizing that the family of the girl, they are actually close to him. The girl has been working with him for quite numbers of years and all that. And, from the story, it indicated that there's actually a residence, even though it's within the confines of the residence of the minister, but it's actually far where we have all other staffs living, and that's where the lady lives. Not that she's living directly, under the roof of the minister. But for me, I feel that a lot of civil rights organizations are calling, for justice. And at times when justice is being requested for, it's not because whether we are trying to witch hunt a particular person involved. It's just to make the whole scenario very clear. And, transparency is needed, especially with the circumstance of the death of the lady. And these are things that are done in other countries when things like this happen. People really want to be sure of the fact, what actually, went wrong with her body. And for the fact that the minister also emphasized that she had actually been going through some medical treatment, probably related to what happened to her. We've seen people died, while alone, nobody to attend to them because they are asthmatic patients. We've seen those who actually lost their breath because there was nobody there to help them. By the time they get to them, they find out that they're already gone. And so the fact that we saw where it's been stated that even our colleagues or our friends, had seen her earlier that day, had conversation, and she mentioned that she was not feeling too well. She wanted to go back, take a bath and all that. Yes, she could have conversations with her husband, but everyone surrounding this case needs to be, investigated on. They need to answer some questions. Whether the boyfriend was far away and they had a conversation on phone, it's not even out of the fact that they should also bring him and ask him questions, what he knows about the girl's health and all that. Then she works in an hospital. So there's tendency that she has a medical record, or probably she has records of what the minister was saying, that he took her to a Turkish hospital and there's evidence of payment and all that. They just need to follow up with her health record and then still come back and do the autopsy, just to have a glaring view of what actually happened to her. Was there something that went wrong somewhere? Was there a medication? Was there an attack on her health? Probably there's something she needed to do that she didn't take precaution to and all that. All these things make the case very clear. So it has nothing to do with the parent deciding whether to do autopsy or not. It's out of their hands right now. It's a public case, it's a government case. An official of the government is involved. And, I saw in one of the reports where someone was saying, oh, let there be an independent report and whatever. The fact remains that whether it's independent, whether it's private, whether it's whatever, as long as there is a demand for the autopsy to be done, there is need to also check our medical records to be sure of what actually happened to her. We can't just, blame it on those she had conversation with, or that the father doesn't want it, the family does. No. They should go ahead, investigate, speak to who they need to. I know the minister, went all out to talk a lot about, his relationship with the family, the girl, the working and all that. But then the security personnel needs to still do their job. our medical practitioners should still do their job so that we are clear with whatever it is that we are not seeing physically or what we assume. And in this kind of case, with somebody losing her life, there's no need to start assuming, oh, it's because she didn't do this. It's because where are the facts? So the government needs to, dig in deeper and investigate, of course, with all parties involved.
Nima, do you want to say something to this?
Like you said, the more you look, the less you see. I was so shocked when I was reading the article. The first thing that came to my mind was, are these people Muslims? Well, when I saw the lady's name, I don't know if they are. I concluded myself that...
No, I think she goes to deeper life. So no, they're not Muslims. I thought the same thing as well. No, they're not.
Because it's Muslims who say no autopsy.
Oh!
Yes, just bury
because they have to bury immediately.
Yes. So before I made any conclusion, I had to check, are they Muslim? When I saw that they are not Muslims, I was now wondering that why exactly? Because the thing looks so fishy. Your daughter died in someone else's residence with blood coming out of her nose. And you're like, no autopsy. If the father had come out to say, okay, maybe she had regular nosebleeds, would have understood. If she had a prior medical condition, it would make more sense. But the thing is so mysterious. And you're coming out to say no autopsy. Then the minister also said maybe she was talking to her boyfriend. Was he there? How did he know she was talking to her boyfriend? Was there CCTV there? And if there was CCTV in her room, doesn't that mean he was infringing on her privacy? I want to understand. How did he get to know that she was talking to her boyfriend? See, for me, this thing is very fishy. It's just like this fake agency scandal. The more we go into it, we will just be confused. Because I don't understand, both from the father and the minister. I need someone to explain it to me. Maybe I will understand then.
I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, this is still Women Radio 91.7 FM, the voice of women, Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. This is the Daily News Review. The time right about now is 6 minutes after 8. And our analyst is here, Adetong Adebogun, very, 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 very well and able to carry this conversation this morning. The phone lines are open, 07000-917-917, 0800-123-5917, or 9155-917-917. Please do well to call us. We want to hear your thoughts and your opinions on these very, very strange matters affecting us in our these matters that we're talking about. The numbers to text or WhatsApp us are 0703 1756 537 or 8155 917 917. Okay, we have some messages this morning. Malami and Emefiele, two key actors in the administration of President Buhari, operated from the same playbook. Both also suffer from the same malady. The luck they both have is that they are not from China or the Korean Peninsula. By now, we would have had their heads on the crucifixion tree, says Olusegun Ajayi from Odunla, Ikorodu. Emefiele was the central bank governor, and Malami was the AGF, the Attorney General of the Federation of Nigeria. And we have a call. Hello, good morning.
Before I liked you before, but now I you and your people are going to I don't like you. You have become one of them.
Okay? My is not a fair seller now.
That's what you say. Okay. Good morning. I will say I'm happy life. And I say Assalamu alaikum to some people and peace be unto to some people. Then I think we can God again. In some family, different people are crying because they love loved ones. But thank God I'm alive. And now we go one day. So also everyone, and the Bible Quran is on that after death there is judgment. You can get away that you can't get away from heaven. If you have all the to spend, let's say 200 years, where do you go from heaven or heaven? Go together. And Nigeria was not like this before. I'm not telling stories. The thing of it is 5 kobo. Another day, when you want to make food, then you can use one thing of meat. How much of rice, then you can eat anything. Nigeria, ask your parents that are civil servants. You don't get food. You didn't have cars. Except some of them that we are giving car. But look at the civil servants. This look at somebody again. But look at our students. Some that have advanced. It's when you come out of this, you try to struggle to build house, maybe do some other thing, and your children will help you. You know where you are trained. Look at what happened to you. Look at somebody begging how much. And just the nation has eaten deep. Even that issue, they should investigate all of us and see who's still around us. But the people like one of these things that turn back at us. We need to do what's right. How better Nigeria are looking up. It depends on you and I. It must start from you and I. I cannot say government are doing the wrong thing. How to do the wrong thing. They are doing their own up. They are doing their own down. If they enter fire, enter fire. Nigeria was not like this before. Things started changing and things get Nara was story. This is what I experienced. They don't ask your parents. You should ask your parents. So it's we, this country that got so much grace. We have only to be great. But because of corruption, from down from down to top. That's why we are. And except we repent. Come away and do the right Nigeria will not do Nigeria. Except we repent to and turn do the right thing anywhere. If you are doing the wrong thing praying, God is not going to be happy because God is faithful for you. But Nigeria will be great again. Look now. There are many against me. I don't want to say anything. They cannot listen to that with some of the rescue from this they kidnap and so what they were saying. But the other sometimes you should try and do the same journalism. But that so far they have come back. There is some of this are speaking Yoruba. Then we get like all this not. There's not before I'm complete cider. You should investigate. The way Nigerians are looking for money. It's so good. We just want this money back. So I'm watching this again. Here it will end. That is it. Voting sometimes I visit when during time of voting, I will go there. If you go to yourself, are you going to vote? What are they going to give you? And you see so much of this dollar. So we don't should want to do the right thing. I just was not like this. I have enjoyed this concept. I still enjoy it again. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. Nigeria will be great again. Would that devil like it or not? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Evangelist Dixon, for calling. All right, let's finish this message. Malami, okay, yes. People in the studio, Osun State indigenes are killing themselves because of upcoming election. This is unfortunate. U.S. House passed bill to withhold all assistance to Nigeria because of terrorist attack. I think it's a good idea. Why is our leader failing to address this terrorist attack? I am glad, additional was you that you're the one that's asking this question. I'm so glad that you're the one that's asking this question. I think it's a good idea. He says, an appeal court upholds INEC timetable is a good development, and kudos to security agents for rescuing some kidnapped people in Kwara State, and for some people who criticize the federal government and security agents for rescuing the students and teachers of Orire in Oyo State. Why is it that some people just want bad news? Please, Mr. President, restructure this country so that the central can be less attractive. Thank you so much, Additional Wasiu. Evangelist Shegun Oyedeji says, hi for me, hope the message will get to you on time. Nima, rest your voice and please get well. Get honey, put about 3 teaspoons full in warm water, drink at intervals, it works like magic. Nima, share your head. Adeto, natural disasters due to climate change cannot be predicted or prevented, though we lack crisis management here. Covering up or pampering criminals, low and high, is the bane of crime escalation in our country. Our leaders cover up their shame by running to court for justice. They will manipulate and influence Buju Buju Abacadabra until admission into higher institutions is made nationally uniform by the law. The racketeering in that sector will continue producing uneducated graduates promoted by parents who will later turn around to blame the government. Ibi Nigeria Delo ni gbogbo wa la lọ́wọ́ ńbẹ̀. I've read it. What do you mean? Ibi Nigeria Delo ni gbogbo wa la lọ́wọ́ ńbẹ̀. What do you mean? For me, don't follow. Look for your hand, Evangelist. I did not. I read it. If you want to hear it again, Ibi Nigeria Delo ni gbogbo wa la lọ́wọ́ ńbẹ̀. Nima wants you to. Nima wants to. Nima is shaking for me. Okay, the next headline is.
We have a voice note.
Okay, please go ahead and play it. I suspect it's from additional Wasiu, but go ahead.
Is.
Good morning to you in the studio. Additional Wasiu is my name. I'm calling from the country. This corruption will continue until we restructure this country. The center is so powerful to the extent that the government are going there to go and collect money. Let us restructure this country. If we restructure this country, each region and each state will look inward. All these terrorist camps where they are mining our mineral resources free of charge will be taken over by the state. And the citizen of that state will have a job opportunity. Let us restructure this country that will make Central less attractive. And once we restructure this country, each local government, each state government, everybody will focus on the state. Look at what Malame acquired just in 80 years. It is unfortunate. Just by the fact they use Mensa way to print a lot of money and see where they put Nigeria. They have successfully pushed Nigeria into massive debt just because they want to satisfy their individual ambition. Until our leader wake up and do the necessary. Restructure this nation, let this country be restructured. Every state will control their resources and police themselves. That is why we have these bandits mining our resources free of charge, and our big man are behind it. I'm using this medium to president restructure this country now before it is too late, because the money they are looting in this country is so humongous to the extent that whenever they loot this country dry, they will devalue our money. Whenever they loot this country, they will devalue our money. The question is, how much is before it became an attorney general of the state? If an attorney general, the number one law officer, can amass all this wealth, and we are talking of just building property basis, do we know the amount of cash they have in dollar in various places where they keep it, or outside the country where they stash it for? It's unfortunate. Until we structure this country, this looting will continue, and Nigeria, our leader is going to loot us dry. Restructure this country now, Mr. President. Let each region and each state manage their resources and send 10% to the central government. Good morning, Additional was my name. Calling from Ikoto.
Thank you so much for your voice note and your message. Truly appreciate you. Okay. This one, I want us to take this one, 2027. Christians now more comfortable with Muslim ticket, says APC chieftain. Farouk Aliyu, that's his name. He says that Nigerian Christians are now more comfortable with the party's Muslim presidential ticket than they were ahead of the 2023 general election, arguing that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration has disproved fears of religious marginalization. He said this on an appearance on one of our, media houses. And he says the APC leadership opted to retain the same ticket because he already had won the confidence of the Nigerian people. If you recall, in 2023, there was quite a few reactions that were like, people were like, oh no, Christians were going to be marginalized. They wanted to Islamize Nigeria and all of that. But his argument, this chieftain's argument is that so far so good, that hasn't happened. Adeton, what say you? Because if I recall, the reason for regional presidency was so that it gets to everybody, right? And same thing with, if it's a Christian who's going to be president, it's a Muslim who gets to be vice president. If it's a Muslim that's president, a Christian is vice president. But right now, I think the first time in a long time, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, because Obasanjo, who was his Atiku was his vice. Yaradua, who was Yaradua's vice? Goodluck Jonathan. Yeah, and then we had Goodluck Jonathan. Who was Goodluck Jonathan's vice? I don't recall, But then we had Buhari with Yemi Osinbajo, Christian, as his vice. But right now we have Muslim in this administration. Do you think that people's fears were on, what's the word, on something, I'm trying to find the word, when people unfounded, thank you so much, were they unfounded, or were people well within their rights to complain? Because if it was a Christian that was president and if it was a Christian ticket, I dare say that the North would have raised up their heads and said, no, it can't be. for sure. That one, I know that one for sure. I don't need anybody tell me that one. If it was a Christian ticket. But is it that we are now like, you know what, whatever is going to happen, is it as a result of Nigerians just being uninterested again in politics, like, whoa, kind of thing? So yeah, Adito, go ahead.
I really think he got it all wrong. It has nothing to do with us being comfortable with their decisions, whether it's Christian ticket or Muslim ticket. Trust Nigerians. It has nothing to do with the fact that they are comfortable with the decision. Don't forget that we have, will I say 2-3 political parties that are stronger right now, and we have to make a choice. Just as we have been doing how many years ago when democracy came to play. So it's not something that is new, neither will it be something that, it's just because we are not interested in voting and all that. Whoever the party, brings out on whatever positions is who people will see as the candidates. So if you decide as an APC party to put out Muslim candidates for president, and probably in years to come, we see another party putting the same Muslim ticket, it is the candidate that they have at hand. And that is not to say that they don't have Christians within APC to be the vice president for President Tinubu. It's not that. It's their own decision right from the onset of that party. That is what they decided. Remember, we had discussions around, they are talking to some opponents from the other parties to come and join APC, and some politicians were moving from their own former political party into APC. We're having a lot of cross-carpeting here and there. Some were pulling out of APC, some were joining APC and other parties. So it's actually the party's decision, not Nigeria's decision, and not that Nigerians are comfortable with the Muslim ticket. If they give us Muslim Christian ticket, it is their decision. Those are the people that we will vote for on the ballots, ballot paper. We are going to see APC. So if you are voting for APC, it is the candidate that APC decides to push out that will be voted for. Yeah. The same goes to other political parties. But that is not to say that we don't have Christians in APC, just like we have Christians in other political parties. So whatever the party throws at us, that's what people will go out and vote for. We are not going to say, because they threw out Muslim tickets. If some people feel that they are fans of Tinubu, they will go and vote. If some people feel that, they don't like his vice president candidate, of course, whatever one they want to fall into, at the end of the day, you make your decision at the polling booth. So it's either you are voting for APC or you are voting for other political parties. And that's why we said, even when it comes to women candidates, it is who the party allows to get to that primary level. It is who the party allows to get to that final stage of saying, we are bringing a woman president out for you to vote for on whatever platform of party. So the decision starts with the political party. Nigerians didn't choose Muslim tickets. Neither have Nigerians been choosing Muslim Christian tickets. It is the party that is doing that. We are only going to the ballot booth to vote for what we know are the preferred candidate of the party, and that's what they are pushing to us, compared to other climes where the case is different. And we've been having this over the years. You mentioned during former President Olusegun Obasanjo's time. Of course, we know Obasanjo and the Muslim candidates and all that. And you also raised a concern. What if we had a Christian candidate? Of course, the northern people will raise an alarm and say, no, this is not how it's done. Why is Obi saying that he wants to come out with another northerner? So if you are from the east or you are from the west, if you understand the political terrain in Nigeria, if you are from the east or from the west, you have to choose a northerner to be, your vice president. And if you are from the north as the president, you choose either someone from the east or someone from the west, so that it looks more like, even though we know we have 6 geopolitical zones, which can form under that 3, whether you are Yoruba, Igbo, or Hausa. You understand? So the 6 geopolitical zones come together under 3. So you pick out of that. And that's the system we've been operating over the years. At least that's what I know happens compared to other clients. So this is what we have in our box when it comes to election. And then even if you don't like one out of what APC is bringing out, at the end of the day, you have to still vote for your preferred party. So I think it's not that Christians are really comfortable. It's not that Nigerians are comfortable with Muslim tickets. That's just what they are throwing at us.
Yeah, true. Nima, do you want to say something? Being that you're Muslim.
Not much. I didn't vote in the last election, but right now, why are you laughing at me?
Do you plan to vote in the next one?
I don't know.
We drag you. I don't understand. It's me. Let's take it off camera. Go ahead.
So I'm not going to say per se Muslim or Christian. To be very sincere, I'm not bothered.
Wow. These are the people we're talking about. Evangelist Dixon, are you listening to Nima this morning?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean by I'm not bothered?
Go ahead.
At a Christian, we've had both Muslim and Christian leaders.
True.
We've seen what they had to do.
True.
So anybody who wants to come for me can come. I'm not really bothered by the religion of the leader. The person should just do what is good for Nigeria. Don't marginalize anybody. If you're a Muslim, don't marginalize Christians. If you're a Christian, don't marginalize Muslims. That's all I care about. Let everybody be comfortable. Let Nigeria be good. So I'm not bothered by the religion or the ticket. And what you said about 2023 elections, I remember then people were so angry that Tinubu is a Muslim, Shetima is a Muslim. He's a Muslim, right? Why would it be 2 Muslims? And Muslims were clamoring, we have to vote for them. We have to vote for them. But now today, the same Muslims are the ones shouting they didn't do a lot. So what's the big deal? I don't really think we should stress ourselves with the religion. Let's just vote for those who work.
Yeah.
And Nigeria is too big of a state to be concerned with religion of our leaders. If they are doing what makes sense, why not? And like Adeton said, it is the party who will decide those who will get the tickets. They are the ones who will bring forth their candidates. We have nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with maybe they are Muslims or Christians. The only thing is running mate has to come from another region.
All right. I think Adeton wants to say something before we go. Go ahead, Adeton.
Yes, quickly, there was a point Nima was saying that she's not bothered, and that's why I stressed that we've been having this over there. And when we had it in 2023, because we've been having, a swap with picking from one of the regions, or we had Muslim, Christian. We've been having it like that, Christian, Muslim, and then for the first time, we are now having Muslim. That was what happened in the last election. And people were like, are you telling us that there's no candidate that is a Christian that can, go as power as a vice president with that kind of, noise that was made about the election? And, the previous one was a Muslim Christian ticket. And when we now saw that, this one is Muslim, why? And, Nima has concluded everything. The fact that we encourage a lot of people to go out and vote, it's not that the decision of who they bring out is on those that are going to vote. It's not on the electorate. We are just saying that we want better leaders. We want the leaders that yearn for the people, that are going to actually do what is expected of them. Whether we've seen Christians failed us in this country, we've seen Muslims failed us in this country. So it's not just about religion. It's about the integrity of the person that is coming on board to lead this nation. And it's not about the tribe. It's not. It's about the integrity of whether you are Igbo, you are Hausa, you are Yoruba. Your integrity is what we are looking at. And we want you to be accountable to the people. I think that's basically what matters to people, because when we start looking at tribe or ethnic background or religion, a lot of things would continue to go wrong. We just want credible people to govern us. That's all.
Absolutely. And with that said, we've come to the end of the Daily News Review program for this week. We are so done. Thank you so much, Adetone, for coming on the program. As we go about our, please make sure that you're thinking about Nigeria. Don't say, I'm not voting like Nima. Don't say, oh, I'm not interested like Nima. Don't say,
I'm not voting.
Said you're not voting. But my point is, let's do the right thing and let's go out and mass get your PVC so that we can vote next year. Nigeria will be better. Like Evangelist Dixon will say, it will be better in my lifetime. Hopefully that lifetime will not be when I'm 80. But yes, we will be hopeful that Nigeria will be better again in our lifetime. Thank you so much once again, Adetone. It was a pleasure to have you on the program today. Up next is the news at 9 and her lands at 9:05. Don't go anywhere. This is still Women Radio 91.7 FM. Bye for now.